Rev up your engines! All right, it's road trip time. Time to pack up and head back to Rhode Island for a few months. And what did we learn the months I was here in Tennessee? Well, let's start out with the bad things we learned. We learned that this Harbor Freight tire changer is a rolling pile of crap. This is to change one Toyota Tacoma pickup truck tire. It bent the arm, as you can see. It also started to wallow out this cheap metal part. And that the weld on the rod to turn it around with was so bad, pieces stuck out and poked a hole in my hand. The business end duck bill was so crappy, I had to get my motorcycle tire iron out of my tool chest in order to put the tire back on. So, yes, I know there's guys selling kits that you can modify these things for $180, $200, but you're just modifying a piece of crap, right? You still got this cheap arm with holes that's too thin, that's gonna break. I mean, if you want a tire changer, hey, you're either gonna spend thousands on a good one, or maybe just make your own and forget this pile of crap. The bottom's cheap too, eventually that would bend. So really, if you look at it, $49.95 to change your own tires. It felt like it was too good to be true, and of course, it was. But on the flip side, I found some electric bicycles I have a lot of fun with. These look rather similar. See, they're both more or less kind of motorcycle style. This Jan Snow here, and as we walk over here, the top of the line, Astro C3. Now this C3 is by far the most fun I've had on an electric bike. Fast, it's got a really good battery in it. It's a lot of fun to drive around. It's got hydraulic mineral oil brakes, discs front and back, dampeners in the front, beautiful welding, right? It is a fun bike. It has turn signals, all kinds of stuff. And it's held up quite well. We compare it to this Jan Snow one, okay. It's got dual disc brakes, but they're just cable brakes. They're not as strong. It's cheaper to make them that way, right? But it has both front and rear shock absorbers for a smoother ride, and it's held up quite well. It's a tad bit slower than the C3, but here's the kicker. The C3 is a $2,800 electric bike, and it's more like a motorcycle, right? Where this Jan Snow, hey, it's $800. So, $2,800 versus $800. How much do you want to spend for how much performance do you want to get? The hydraulic brakes have better stopping, but these are cable disc brakes. They stop pretty well, yeah. I mean, let's face the facts. You're not in a race where weight and braking performance is ultimate for the fraction of a second. They're fun toys, right? Do you want an $800 toy, or do you want a $2,800 toy? These are the top two that I found for a combination of speed, fun, and also factoring in price. After all, these things are only supposed to go a certain speed limit, like 20 miles an hour or whatever. Anything over that is technically illegal for a bicycle, and then they would be under motorcycle or motor scooter laws and require a license and all that crap, right? $800 starts to sound a whole lot better for having fun versus $2,800. But that said, it's a heck of a lot more fun driving the $2,800 one around. So either way, you might want to try both of these out and see, do I want to spend $2,000 more, or do I want to save $2,000, 1/3 the price, and go with the one that's still fun? And yeah, it doesn't have hydraulic brakes and stuff, but hey, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. And after all, most of these, what are they? They're toys. I want to buy them for actual transportation to work or whatever. I definitely go for this one because the battery's much stronger. It has a much longer range. It's quicker if you get stuck in a situation where speed will save your life. And really, when you look at them, it's a heck of a lot cooler looking too. Now, kayaks are motor transportation, so I gotta say, Brooklyn kayaks I got, they work out fine. You know, they're just plastic and stuff, solid made, they're unsinkable, but they're sitting on a trailer that I find to be a pretty good trailer. See, it's a Malone trailer. They got Malone all over the place. You got to put it together yourself. I like putting things together, and it's proven to be a really solid, reliable trailer. Now, I've only got one complaint. I read online, people said, oh, they kind of handle squirrely, right? So I thought, yeah, I've had trailers. Why would they handle squirrely? Well, they sent us. You had to put it together, but the axles and the bearings were already built on the whole axle assembly. So other than the tire not being bolted on, this was already all made. So I put the thing together, and then I noticed the back wheels, they were kind of cantered in. I thought, what the heck is going on? So I jacked it up, found out that the wheel bearings weren't tight enough. They had built it sloppily. So I popped the cap off, took out the cotter pin, greased it, didn't have enough grease anyways, and then I made the castle nut snug. So when I jacked it up and pulled on it, it didn't wobble anymore. So it handled perfectly fine for us driving with 3 kayaks on it going 75 miles an hour. But if you're gonna buy one of these, pop the cap off, take the castle nut off, get some grease, grease it, put it on snug. They did not put it on right. So all the people that are saying these things don't handle well, I'm assuming it's because whoever's tightening the castle nuts in here did a crappy job on all of them, and they're all kind of off, and so the tires are gonna wobble around. Now, as you can see, when you look inside here, there's a grease fitting. I'll get another angle so you can see it better. There's a grease fitting right there. You can grease it with a grease gun anytime you want. Malone, please train your workers better. They need to know how to put the axle nuts on the axle. They weren't on tight enough, the wheels wobbled, and if you see people complaining they're not handling right, that's because your guy's not bolting them on right. Simple thing to do, didn't bother me, I'm a mechanic, but a lot of people are just gonna put this thing together, go down the road, and the tires will be wobbling, they'll wonder what the heck's going on. So, little extra quality control, putting them together, solid, all the pieces fine, fit, works perfectly fine, but you need to have those guys put those axles on stronger, or sell them with the axles taken apart, so that when we put them together, we'll do it right ourselves. This is a process of learning that we're starting. Under the hood of my old Celica, as you can see, a lithium battery. Now this is a lifetime 12.8 volt, 100 ampere hour trolling motor for a boat, right? But I'm trying it out in a car. I just have these straps holding it in because it's bigger than the regular one, but they don't weigh anything. So see, it's still nice and solid because it's a lightweight battery. Now these aren't cheap batteries, and the bigger they get super expensive. This is 100 ampere hour, it's like a $380 battery. If you get like a 200 ampere one, those things can be like $1,200. Very expensive batteries, but they say they're made for trolling motors, solar projects and stuff. But my Celica sits for months and months unused when I go to Rhode Island, right? And every time for the past few years that I came back to Tennessee, I'd have to jump start it because the old battery was dead. So, as you can see, it starts the car fine now. What we want to find out is it going to start the car Christmas time when I come back, all right? This is a good test. Now, like they say, these aren't made supposedly for cars. Starts the first time every time, and we'll see what happens. Now, I can imagine it wouldn't be too good for a big diesel engine for cranking it and getting the glow plugs going, or an old junker that you got to crank to get it going. But we'll see what happens over the years. I'm going to leave this thing in here until it dies. And let's say 10 years from now, if I'm still around, the car's still around, we'll see if this battery still starts it or not. Because they say, oh, they're not made for cars. We're going to find out over time. Stay tuned till Christmas time when I come back and see if it starts up. What else have we found out? Well, we found out that tire manufacturing's gone a long way. You can see these are relatively aggressive treads that we're putting on my daughter-in-law's Toyota Tacoma pickup. These particular ones are Kumo Road Venture AT52. As you can see, they're made in Vietnam. Now, through the magic of modern engineering and design, those aggressive tires do not make noise. I am so used to getting them people with their big knobby off-road tires, and you go down the road, rum, they hum, you're sitting inside, it drives you nuts. When they pass you on the road, you can hear them humming down the road, right? These are virtually silent. I don't know what this Kumo company did, but they made a tire that's got great traction, all that aggressive tread, but it doesn't make noise. I made another video, you can watch that if you want. It just amazes me that they've been able to make tires with that aggressive of a tread that don't make noise. Over the years, I've had so many people buy tires to say, what's that noise? I said, with your tires. The tread pattern's too aggressive. Then some of them don't like it, and they'll go and they'll get another set of tires. In this case, aggressive, but silent. Unlike that Chrysler that just went by with a hole in the muffler, it wasn't silent at all. We're off to Rhode Island, and the sun's rising over the hills of Kentucky. Day 2 trucks are sleeping by the side of the road. Look at them all. Both sides of the road. You can tell we're in New York State now by the thumping of the road. They don't take such great care of them. and you pay money to drive on them. But that's the way it is. We're just passing through. As you can see on the top, we're using Venus as a guide. The Goya truck in front and Venus is up in the sky there. Here we are on the marvelous New York State Thruway. You can feel the thumping. Yes, and you pay for the right to drive on this road. Plus, we had to use a porta potty at the local service station because the only thing was gasoline and 2 porta potties. And we're now in New York, and they really rake you over the coals. $4.09 to $4.99. Well, here I am back in Rhode Island. Well, we learned it's still a heck of a lot easier to travel across the United States in a gasoline car versus an electric car. I only saw 3 Teslas the whole time, but I saw 9 dead raccoons. So you're 3 times more likely to see a dead raccoon on the highway than you are a Tesla. And while I was driving down the New York State Thruway, I didn't see a single charger at any of the places for electric cars. Good luck, gas stations are all over the place. Charging systems, they aren't. We also learned that New York State charges you money to drive on their thruway roads that are falling apart. Then where you go to get food and gasoline, all they have is gasoline and a couple of outhouses in the back, porta potties, right? Yeah, all they have money. And that's also where I paid the most for gas at a Shell station. It was $4.09 a gallon. It was $3.16 when I left Tennessee, so that'll just tell you. They're gouging you guys in New York State. Do like I did. I left when I was 18. And now that I'm back in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, feel free to contact me, ScottyKilmer@gmail.com. I'm going to be here for 2 whole months, Monday through Friday. In the mornings, I'll check out people's cars. Maybe you're getting ripped off at the dealer. Hey, feel free to bring it over here, and I'll make a video out of it and shame them into fixing your car. I've done that for many people. The trip is over, and there's work to be done. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.